Hi, Melanie here again. Back to give you another update from Bromley House Library, and actually again in Bromley House Library with the wonderful view of the garden. Oh, we've missed it so much. Look how lovely it's looking out there. Really green, really in bloom. Lots of bees buzzing around, and yes, it's good out there. Which is a really good opportunity actually for me to say a massive thank you to June, our gardener, who has been keeping that garden alive throughout the lockdown on her own. Keeping it maintained, ready for us to come back. And the great news is we now have the garden all to ourselves. The builder's sheds have gone. That project is completed. So when you do get back out in the garden, you'll find a whole new expanse to enjoy. So today I wanted to give you a quick update on what we're planning to do to get our doors back open. I'm going to try and just summarise things quickly. There's some more information on our website. We've tried to be as open as we can with the plans, and we're also sending out surveys so that you can give us your feedback on what you think about what we're proposing, and also to give your feedback to us on what we've done over the last few weeks and months. So as with other organisations, other libraries, shops and everywhere else, we've been trying to make sense of the government's guidelines around making places COVID secure, so how we can get you back in the building and get ourselves back in the building safely, or as safely as possible. So from reading through all of that, we noticed firstly that libraries aren't directly mentioned, but we seem to fall within the category of public spaces, which the government has said can open safely no earlier than the 6th of July. So that's the date that we're working towards for you to come back in as members. And I think that's the date that most libraries around the country are working towards as well. In order to do that, we really need to get ourselves back in first, because we've got quite a lot to do to get ready. So staff will be back in the building from next week. Not all of us. It's really important that we're keeping some of us at home, so there's not too many of us in the building at once. So it'll just be a very limited staff team. We won't have the door open to members at that point, unfortunately, because we really have got quite a lot to do in order to be ready for you. So it's things like moving furniture around, getting cleaning products in place and a cleaning regime in place, and also quite a lot of admin that we need to do around the books and the catalogue. We are going to move to electronic circulation when we reopen, or as soon as possible around the time we reopen, which means that we'll be logging the borrowing through the catalogue rather than through the ledgers as we do at the moment. This is something that's been in our plans for some time. We've decided to do it now because we can't really find a safe way to use the ledgers with these new guidelines around handling materials and cross-contamination. It just makes the use of the ledgers really very difficult, and also it's making us very hard to track things when we're not in the building. So for example, at the moment, as I said, before we closed, you took us up on the offer of taking as many books as you could carry. You took over 1,000 books in 2 days. Logging in at home, we can't see what those books are, so it's very difficult for us to deal with queries from other members about what they can borrow when we reopen. So for many reasons, now is the time to make that change, and there's a lot of preparation to do in order to get there. So we're going to have a busy few weeks in the library before we reopen the doors to you on the 6th of July. How will it look on the 6th of July, you're probably thinking? A bit different. We've got to do some things to reduce the risk of spreading the virus. I think we should be really honest at this point and say we cannot remove risk altogether. We just have to try and reduce it as much as we can. At the end of the day, we all have to be responsible for our own health and safety too. But there are things that we can do. So with COVID-19 being a virus that is transmitted through respiratory droplets, it's all about trying to reduce the risk of somebody inhaling those droplets or touching those droplets, for example on another surface, and then ingesting them, putting them in their eyes, so hence the don't touch your face thing that people have been saying repeatedly over many weeks. So they're the things that we're focusing on. We're focusing on how we can reduce the risk of touching contaminated surfaces, and we're looking at social distancing measures to keep to a limit the number of people in a space at any one time. So the big change, in July we're going to be asking people to book an appointment to come and see us. We need to do that so that we can safely limit the number of you in the building at any one time. which I think is something that you'll appreciate too. So when you come in, you'll know that there's not going to be another 30 people in this space. We're going to try and keep it to 10 an hour, just so it's nice and easy to circulate, and so that nobody's staying too long either. So we're not going to be having people working in rooms. That really won't work for us right now. If someone stays in a room for too long, then they're going to be breathing out those droplets, and that makes it difficult for other people to come into that room safely. So no working in rooms, booking of slots. We'll stagger the slots so that you're not all arriving at once. And we'll have that booking system on the website so you can book them directly, or alternatively you can contact us and we'll book you in. So that's the main change. But when you come in, we're going to want to talk to you, because that's an important part of Bromley House. So we're going to get some screens at the counter to make that a little bit safer. We're not going to be wearing masks, or I don't think we will be, but if you want to, you're welcome to. We're not going to be wearing gloves. We're going to be cleaning our hands regularly, and we're going to be sanitising, using hand sanitizer when we issue books. That's a lot safer than using gloves, because there's not the same risk of cross-contamination that you get with gloves. But we'll also be quarantining books when they come back in for 72 hours, and of course you're welcome to do that again at the other end if you want to feel extra secure. But we won't be stopping you from browsing the shelves. It's an important part of the library, so if you do want to come in and have a browse, if you don't know what you want before you come, that's okay. We want to keep this in the Bromley spirit as much as possible, but just making it safe around the edges where we can. Coffee room won't be open, because that's an area where there's a lot of potential touch points and contamination, so that won't be open for a while, and for the same reason we won't have the newspapers and magazines out for a while, because of the number of people that handle those. But we will be stepping up cleaning. We'll have an hourly cleaning schedule to make sure we're cleaning door handles, any kind of regularly touched things like stair banisters, again just to try and reduce the level of risk. And really, most importantly, we're just going to be trying to wash our hands, follow good hygiene, and we're going to make sure there's hand sanitizer all around the building so that you can do that too. So I hope that those measures and everything else that we've got listed in the plans on our website will help you to feel able to come back to see us. We would love to see you, but we understand that for some of you, you won't be able to come back in straight away, or you won't feel confident to do that. So we will be keeping things going virtually as well, which is why it's really important that we get your feedback on what we've done so far, so you can tell us what you've liked and give us some ideas on anything else we could add into our remote offer to you, because for a while we're going to be balancing physical Bromley House and virtual Bromley House, but we're up to that challenge. So that's where we are. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. I feel very optimistic at the moment, because I feel like there's clear evidence that the virus is getting weaker. We're certainly not there yet in this country where we feel that we've got things completely under control, but I think the direction of travel looks very promising for us all. And we know that things aren't going to go back to normal straight away, but I feel that we're starting to get a plan here for where we can at least get a level of service to you again. And we're going to be cautious, but as things improve, we'll gradually loosen even some of those restrictions, just to make things a bit easier around the building. So bear with us, and things will gradually return to some sort of normal. But at the same time, I think we've learnt a lot, and we've developed a lot as a team and as a library in these last few weeks, so we're going to hang on to the really good stuff that's come out of this, and use it to spur us on in the future. So that's where we are. As I've said before, I want to say a big thank you to you for keeping our spirits up through this. Your feedback, your warm wishes, your phone calls, your emails, your letters have all been really appreciated. And I want to say a thank you to the team for their hard work through this period, and their good humour on the darker days. And yeah, I just can't wait to see some of you in July when we reopen. So look out for more information. Enjoy the rest of the e-bulletin. Please give us your feedback. And as always, take care, and we'll see you soon.